AstraZeneca, that the benefits across all age groups outweigh the risks.
A 3-year-old girl has died after being hit by a bus in County Tipperary this afternoon. It happened at Castle Heights Estate in Carrick-on-Suir at around 4 o'clock. Her body has been removed to the mortuary in South Tipperary General Hospital. The bus driver was treated by emergency services at the scene. The road is currently closed for technical examination and Gardaí are appealing for witnesses to come forward. A plan for reopening the country through May, June and July could be revealed at the end of this month. The government is examining a number of areas that will be able to reopen as the number of vaccinations ramps up. An Oireachtas committee was warned earlier that there is still a risk of fourth wave of COVID by the summer, but Acting Chief Medical Officer Dr Ronan Glynn says NPHET hopes to be in a position to open more areas next month.
Click and collect, non-essential retail, further easing in terms of outdoor sports and training, measures like that, and then I suppose outdoor businesses.
The Health Minister has confirmed there's been a pause in the mandatory hotel quarantine system due to a lack of hotel beds. The portal has been closed, awaiting further capacity coming on stream from next Monday. Minister Stephen Donnelly has also confirmed there's still a high number of walk-ins to mandatory hotel quarantine, which shouldn't be happening. And separately, 358 new COVID-19 cases have been confirmed. 166 are in Dublin, 39 in Donegal, 16 in Kildare, 13 in Offaly, 12 in Meath and 12 in Limerick. There's also been 18 additional deaths, 7 of which occurred this month. That's it for now. More in an hour.
News Talk Weather.
Dry tonight with clear spells, some mist or fog overnight. Lowest temperatures of -1 to +2 degrees. And now you're up to date on News Talk.
The Newsround on Off the Ball
with Gillette. Put your best face forward with our new and improved razors.
This is News Talk.
Well, Champions League evening ahead. Philippe Auclair with us, hoping PSG Bayern is even half as good as the first leg. I think we would take that. He was fourth at the Olympics in Rio. Thomas Barr checks in for a chat after 8 o'clock. Stephen Reid with us after 9 on the football show, now with Nottingham Forest as well as Euros bound Scotland. We have Caoimhe O'Neill on Liverpool, Lawrence Donegan on the Masters. 53106 as ever the text number. We are at Off the Ball on Twitter. Nathan Murphy, hello to you.
Evening, Joe.
And Will O'Callaghan, hello.
Evening, Joe. Evening, Nathan.
So one of the joys of the job is you get to watch lots of sport, although when there's something you really want to watch, like PSG Bayern first leg, you're busy interviewing guests and talking on the radio as well, so you can't quite watch it. But everything I saw about the first leg, Nathan, means I'm upset I'm not getting to watch the second leg, frankly.
Every Champions League match now feels like a must-watch. For the last half decade, if not longer, this is the best that sport can provide. The quality, the amount of attacking football, it's very rare we have the Chelsea-Liverpool 05 type saga anymore. Everything is creative, attacking, lightning quick football, and that is what Bayern Munich and Paris Saint-Germain provided last week. I wasn't surprised with Bayern in a way. I ended up commentating on pretty much all of their group stage games, with the exception of their first match where they destroyed Atletico Madrid. And I couldn't believe how open they were at the back. They played Salzburg, and I think they beat Salzburg 9-3 over the two games. And if Salzburg had won both of them, it wouldn't have been a surprise. They created a dozen chances in both matches, and all of them were, at the time it was replica of Liverpool, what was happening in Liverpool in the Premier League, right up in the halfway line without the quality of defenders to get back when a simple ball over the top would get them again and again. And watching them last week when you're going up against Kylian Mbappe and Neymar, it was just an accident waiting to happen. And they obviously have all sorts of injury problems. It doesn't look like Goretzka is going to be playing tonight, who is such an integral figure in the middle of midfield. But it is set up to perfection. It's just a shame that Lewandowski isn't going to be there. Again, Eric Choupo-Moting. What a career this guy is having. Champions League final last season for Paris Saint-Germain, starting up front this season for Bayern Munich in Lewandowski's absence. But every Champions League game that I watch in the knockout stages lives up to the hype.
Pretty much. Of late it feels that way anyway. So PSG 3-2 lead from the Allianz Arena, Parc des Princes tonight. We'll talk to Philippe Auclair. Bayern would take obviously a 2-0 will, 3-2 draw, 4-3. How nuts is this going to get? 2-0 they're most likely, no? No, not the way they're defending.
not with the squad that they have as well, Joe. You know, the bad news, as Nathan mentioned a moment ago, that Leon Goretzka didn't pass the late fitness test, so he's out of the squad entirely. Bayern Munich, the European champions, can't even name a full bench. They're 3 subs short of being able to name a full bench tonight. Kingsley Coman, who scored the winner in the final last year in Portugal, he has been named to start on the wing. Theo Hernandez, the good news, passed fit to start. Alaba, who will leave the club at the end of the current season, will slot in beside him in the centre of the defence. They only have to keep an eye on Di Maria, Mbappe and Neymar when the game kicks off at 8 p.m. PSG have been forced into one change. That's Leandro Paredes coming in for Marquinhos, their captain, in midfield. And that means that Danilo will play in the back 4 as opposed to playing up front. But you look at Bayern are patched together. You look at the fact that the away goals are against them going into this tie. They need a Paris Saint-Germain freezing moment like we saw maybe in the second leg of the last round of 16 when Barcelona could have scored 3 or 4 in the first half. But I'm not sure if Munich are even in the same form that Barca were a few weeks ago.
Even the return of Alphonso Davies, though, to be able to start at left back, it's probably between him and Andy Robertson for who's the best attacking left back in world football. He is just absolutely electric. And the great thing is, again, looking forward to tonight, there's no point Bayern really sitting back. You think they got to go out all guns blazing away from home, get those away goals. So I wouldn't be at all surprised if we end up with something very, very similar to the first leg. So,
well, hopefully.
Yes, get on it. Joe, I have a big question to ask the nation, if it's all right. I need a little bit of parenting advice. I've just been outside ripping it up out in the green. I am Lionel Messi to these children. But
you're Jan Molby out there.
Well, I tell you, when you fall to the ground, the reverberations are felt around the entire estate.
Timber!
Like, have I just broken my ankle trying to do a rainbow flick? Yeah, I probably have. So I have a football mad 7-year-old. His birthday is coming up. For every birthday, he wants a jersey. So his birthday is in May, which is an awkward time because the jerseys are pretty much out of date. So I said, why don't you get yourself a jersey ahead of the Euros? So he said, absolutely, I would love to get a jersey ahead of the Euros. I want an England jersey. Oof. And he is now nailed on getting an England jersey. I'm wondering, is it worth the hassle? I don't really have an issue with this. I'm struggling to explain to him. I obviously went with the 800 years of oppression and all that. He made the point, what's got to do with Jack Grealish? Which I said, well, that's another complication that you may have here. So I don't actually have a problem with him getting the England jersey. He loves English football. He's obsessed with the Premier League. He watches these guys every week. All the players he likes play for England pretty much. And I'm like, are you going to be walking down the street and someone's just going to be giving you a bit of hassle about it? Or have we moved on as a nation? Are we okay with kids wearing England jerseys?
What's your sense?
I'm okay with it, so I think I'm going to let him at it. I may put him off the Grealish on the back.
Well, that's just trolling. That's just trolling.
Certainly the Rice 4 on the back. Keep it simple. Go with Harry Kane. Pretty inoffensive for everybody, surely.
I think it's fine. I think in our generation it would have been big trouble.
Yeah, I think if you were wandering down for a kick around the park, you'd be getting kicked a lot.
Yeah.
But surely in this day and age, we've moved on.
I would think so. Will, do you want to jump in 2-footed here on Nathan's son?
No, not in his son at least. Yeah, I think as long as he's put Rice or Grealish on the back, he's probably going to be fine. Like if he puts Harry Kane or Mason Mount or something else, you can always say, look, he's just a Harry Kane fan. I would like to think the kids have moved on past that. I'm disappointed in Nathan that he hasn't encouraged him to support a different, more interesting team probably in the Euros. Your chance is gone on that. Maybe this young Spain team coming through, maybe France or Portugal who've got a chance of winning it as opposed to England. But you've gone down the road. He already wants an England jersey. Yeah. He's going to be disappointed if you don't get it now.
I think it's absolutely fine. Get him an England jersey. Yeah. Absolutely.
I'll be calling you, Joe, if this goes horribly wrong.
Pat says, how the hell are you going to explain to him when you're in the shops? Don't mind him. He's an exchange student from Halifax. Says Pat. I don't think you're going to have to explain your son in an England jersey in the shops. Are we still there? Maybe we are.
Well, he'll be 8 by then, so I would hope that people will understand. He just likes his football.
Do you know, it's an interesting question. 53106. Let's take a snap poll out there. Nathan Murphy, his 7-year-old son, wants a jersey. Likes England players, likes England, wants an England jersey. Nathan has explained the years of oppression. His son is okay with that, has accommodated that. I don't see the problem.
Did Harry Kane come over here and
take
all our land?
But you know what? There's a point in that as well, isn't there? Harry Kane didn't. So if he likes Harry Kane and he wants to wear a Harry Kane jersey, then
Well, listen, Harry Kane's people are Irish. They're Galway people.
Well, indeed. Here's one for the friends of the pod, says Gareth. PSG are the Rory McIlroy of football clubs. All of the talent, always promising big things, but you know they're going to blow up at any moment, says Gareth. I'll throw that one to you, Nathan. Harsh and 4-time major winner Rory McIlroy, but go on.
I keep hearing these various different comparisons for Rory McIlroy, which all seem to fail to take into account that he has actually won 4 major championships. So while he has been a recent disappointment, absolutely, you cannot question what he's done previously. There's got to be a better comparison for Rory McIlroy. Juventus be a better comparison for Rory McIlroy?
Barcelona.
I don't think I'd go with Paris Saint-Germain.
No. If PSG win 4 Champions Leagues and then have a slump for a few years, perfect.
Maybe Paris Saint-Germain are more a Ricky Fowler. Very flash.
Yeah.
Haven't quite delivered.
Nathan needs to take a leaf out of Ollie's book, withhold food until he changes his tune. Brazil, Spain, Germany, France, all acceptable. The 3 lines, ouch. Don't know about that, says Evan. Okay.
I think that'll be a lot of people's response. Listen, I can't force them. I think anyone who has kids of that age knows that they don't overly care about clubs even that much now. It's all about players. It's all about the personality. So that's why they love Paul Pogba. They love Harry Kane.
I remember
Jack Grealish.
Hearing that a few years ago, right, that is the way it has gone, is kids increasingly won't support teams. They will support the player. So the Real Madrid Ronaldo jerseys were promptly traded in for Juventus Ronaldo jerseys. That's just the way it is. Somebody suggests get him a Finn Harps shirt. Tell him it's the England away strip. How bright is he, Nathan?
I think 7-year-olds, when it comes to jerseys, are very, very bright.
Okay. Someone else says get him the Finland jersey. Maybe he won't notice. No, I think they have. Look, this is damning of you. They're basing your child's intelligence on what they're seeing from you here, and they're thinking he can be swindled.
Well, he spends too much of his life probably watching Premier League football, so this is all he knows.
Yeah. I think you know deep down you're going to get him that jersey, don't you?
I think I'll have to. I think what would it say about the world I'm bringing him up in if I felt I couldn't buy him an England jersey in 2021?
Would you get him a Rangers jersey if you really wanted a Rangers jersey, or would that feel too far?
I think, and maybe I'm being very overthinking this, you're putting him in unnecessary danger by buying him a Rangers jersey.
You probably are. Owen says, why doesn't Nathan get hold of the Stephen Kenny video and show it to his son?
Yeah.
Done. Right, we should move on. The news round, as ever, is with thanks to our good friends at Gillette. And Will, you're starting with the Champions League this evening. Chelsea also in action, very much the forgotten game tonight.
Yeah, really should be qualifying for a semi-final and awaiting Real Madrid or Liverpool in the last 4. But Thomas Tuchel says now is the time for the club to win trophies. They take a 2-0 advantage into the second leg, which is nominally the home leg of their quarter-final against Porto. It's being played in Seville tonight, where Chelsea did have a win in the group stages of the Champions League too. The build-up to the first game was very much dominated by a training ground bust-up between keeper Kepa and defender Antonio Rudiger. But fullback Ben Chilwell said yesterday that incident galvanised the squad as opposed to dividing it.
You know, since the manager's come in, the form's been brilliant from the team. You know, we're playing well. We're not conceding a lot of goals, which firstly I think shows the togetherness. And then training ground, the incident that's been getting brought up, I think is a positive because you know, it shows that we're all fighting, we're all competitive, and we all want to be successful. And then it gets brushed under the carpet straight away. So yeah, I think, you know, it's very important that we do have, you know, these things that, you know, make us all want to be better and, you know, push each other. And like I said, going into the last stage of the season, it's very important that we're all hungry to be successful.
Ben Chilwell there. You know what? They're into a Champions League semi-final, barring disaster tonight, Nathan. Would not write this team off.
No, he's made a brilliant impact. Exactly what you would expect when you look at the talent that is there. All they're really missing is a goal scorer. I know Giroud can come on and deliver. Tammy Abraham's not playing, but Timo Werner hasn't quite happened yet. If they had a number 9, they look like a team who could really go and do some damage, not just this season in the Champions League, but next season in the Premier League as well, because pretty much in every position they have a couple of options. Only question is, has he found his best 11? Like, does he know going into a Champions League final, if everybody's available, what 11 he's going with? Maybe he doesn't want to. Maybe actually having those options. And I'm never convinced by Kovacic in midfield. I know he was Chelsea's player of the season last year. Jorginho, like both of those, aren't fit to tie the shoelaces of N'Golo Kante, yet at times they seem to get selected ahead of him, or he's pushed slightly out of position. I just want him in that spot that he played for Leicester, that he's at his best in that holding role, and let everything build around him. But you can't question what he's done so far.
No. So it's Chelsea Porto, it's PSG Bayern Munich. Shamrock Rovers also in action this evening, Will?
They are. Just to give you the 2 bits of Chelsea team news before we go on to Shamrock Rovers, lads. Kante passed fit to start, so he's back into midfield alongside Jorginho. They're playing a 3-5-2, so Chilwell and Reece James are going to play as wing-backs. Thiago Silva is straight back in after his domestic suspension, and they have decided to play with no number 9. They've left their 3 forwards on the bench, Tammy Abraham, Olivier Giroud and Timo Werner. So Havertz is going to play as a false 9 with Mount and Pulisic in support. Here at home, as you mentioned, Joe, quarter to 8 start for Shamrock Rovers against the basement side in the league, Derry City, in the Airtricity League Premier Division. And Stephen Bradley, the Shamrock Rovers boss, says he's expecting a tough game. That's despite the Candy Stripes losing all 3 of their first matches. But Bradley says results not telling the full story, and he's insisting the reigning champions will have to be at their very best if they're to come away from the Brandywell with all 3 points. If they win, they'll go within 2 points of the early leaders, St. Pat's.
Okay. Does Nathan like his son? Asks Liam in Brussels. Does that imply buying them the jersey means you wouldn't like your son? That's how I'm reading that.
That's how I'm reading that.
Yeah.
I think this is what he wants for his birthday. I've yet to hear a valid reason why he shouldn't get it.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for the text from Kilban. That'll be the deciding factor. If he approves, it's okay.
Well, he won't.
Just for the 3 angry League of Ireland fans have already texted me saying, get him a League of Ireland jersey. He does have a Galway United jersey, so he has ticked that hipster box. Don't you worry.
Okay. Hi guys, Nathan putting his son on a dangerous path. Next stop Rangers, then posters of Putin on the wall, says Bobby in Castle Connell.
Joe regretting reading that.
I didn't know what was going to be last. My son is the exact same. Loves jerseys and football, supports Chelsea, adores Mason Mount, but he's 1 year older than Nathan's. They've started learning about the 1916 Rising, so he gets it now, kind of. Be careful Nathan's son doesn't turn to him in a year and say, how did you let me wear this, says Ivan. That's a good point. That
is. In 20 years' time, he's looking back at his photos of that glorious summer of 2021 when they were finally released out onto the world, and like, why am I wearing an England jersey?
Yeah. I mean,
that's a good point. What if he turns out to be a wonderful footballer
and declares for England?
Ends up playing for Ireland, and suddenly these photos are unearthed of him in an England jersey.
Yeah.
This is the Harry Kane Arsenal jersey coming back to haunt him again, when Harry Kane is meant to be one of Spurs' own, and there is a picture of Harry Kane. I think it's in 2004, after Arsenal completed the unbeaten season, of Harry Kane wearing an Arsenal jersey, which continues to be used.
Hang on. All everyone says is he was a kid. Yeah. Sorry, I mean, we're not.
Jamie Carragher was an Everton supporter.
Yeah, I mean, we're all over it, aren't we? Does that not prove the point? Although I can't look, I think Ivan makes a fair point. I can imagine non-uniform day next year. He's sitting there with his 3 lines, and it's Easter 1916 day, and suddenly everyone turns around and looks at Murphy. Just got to think of that moment, you know.
That is true.
Very few people have texted to say, yeah, of course, don't be silly. He's a kid. Get him the England jersey if you like England.
This is why I asked the question, because I was wondering, would everyone be unanimous? Of course. He's a child. Let him wear what he wants. We all watch the Premier League. We all enjoy the Premier League. Let him at it.
Mike and Cork, he'll get bullied to hell and back in years to come if he gets pictured in that England jersey. The more I'm seeing this stuff come in, the more I'm thinking, you better get him that England jersey. You need to make a statement that we have moved on.
Kieran Bradley, our colleague, has made the point, on the upside, if he does get through this, he'd be pretty much unbullyable. It's a risk with bringing up my child, it has to be said.
It's true. No bones left to be broken. So, where are we? I'm losing track. Shamrock Rovers playing this evening. Have you done that, Will?
I have. The Italian government as well, lads, have announced that the Stadio Olimpico will be hosting games at Euro 2020. They've assured UEFA that they'll have it open at about 25% capacity for the tournament. It leaves just Dublin, Munich and Bilbao as the cities who have not confirmed with whether spectators will be able to attend. They haven't given until the 19th of April to confirm their plans to European football's governing body. And as that time ticks on, it looks more and more likely that Dublin won't be hosting 4 games this summer.
There's not much outcry about this, really, Nathan, because the games aren't amazing. Now, they're not bad, and it would be great to host them. in some ways, but really the festival of football, everybody out having a few drinks, Dublin alive with supporters, the Polish community enjoying it, all that kind of stuff. It's not really hosting that type of an event. It's just a game largely behind closed doors, homogenous looking stadium elsewhere can do the job.
Well, everything it could have been has gone. Firstly, Ireland qualifying and playing their home matches was gone. Then we could have made a party of it no matter what, even if it is Poland and Slovakia and Sweden who are coming to town. Everyone would have enjoyed that, and a lot of people have bought tickets and spent a lot of money on tickets. But now it's going to be a TV event no matter where it takes place. So I think a lot of people would be just happy to get their money back at this stage and be guaranteed of getting the money back, because I know at one stage away we're talking if the games were moved to England and you could travel to England, that maybe that wouldn't happen. I can't imagine it will, but yeah, unfortunately it'll be like every other game we watch right now. It doesn't matter where it is. I don't know if I'm tuning in. Is this Budapest again where they're playing the matches tonight? I know Chelsea aren't playing where they're meant to be playing, so it doesn't really matter. It's a shame. Like, it's such a shame, because how great could it have been? Never mind if Ireland qualified or not. Anyone who's been to a tournament, who's been around the fan zones, knows just how enjoyable it is. Even having a weekend where you'd have the Polish supporters and the Swedish supporters all together mixing with the Irish. Sun shining.
Yeah,
could have
so
been,
we're not losing that now if we lose the games. I don't think anyone's that bothered, really, which is a sad state of affairs, but it's understandable as well. If Nathan's son's friends ever listen back to Dadcast, trust me, that England jersey will be the least of his worries, which is a fair point. Marie and Beaumont, I'm loving this conversation. I'm laughing out loud. You have to get him the jersey. I imagine the most he will get is light-hearted banter. Well said, Marie. Although JP points out there has been a huge reaction to Nathan's dilemma. 99% strongly opposed to the idea. And JP adds, we haven't had as big a response to this since the footballers who wore hairbands best debate, which was, all-time low. Why doesn't Nathan wear an England jersey himself for a week to lead by example? Well, indeed.
Because I'm a grown man and I don't wear jerseys anymore.
That's a fair response. So, where are we going? Jadon Sancho?
Yeah, he's been ruled out, Joe, of Borussia Dortmund's Champions League quarter-final second leg against his former team, Man City. He's not recovered in time from a thigh injury. We also know that Sergio Ramos won't be playing at Anfield tomorrow for Real Madrid against Liverpool. He was just coming back from a calf issue which ruled him out from the first leg, but the Spanish defender has tested positive for COVID-19. So no Sergio Ramos for Real Madrid, and Lucas Vazquez also out for the rest of the season with the injury picked up against Barcelona at the weekend. Not sure how much hope that gives to Liverpool.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. We'll talk about it later on and get the sense from Caoimhe O'Neill, who's based over in Liverpool, about this game tomorrow. But I mean, really, can you imagine Madrid not nicking one, in which case Liverpool need 4? Hard to see.
I think the way Liverpool are playing at the moment, you couldn't stake your life on them winning any game, and Jurgen Klopp touched on it. We know what the build-up would have been like to this match in normal times, the magic of Anfield, what they did against Barcelona, anything is possible. That's not there. Like, they are a shambles.
That was with fans
just about
well,
scrape past Aston Villa. That's what I mean. That if the supporters were there, you can believe that. How true it is or not, I think on nights like Barcelona it was true, but Liverpool could do it. They have the talent, they have the quality there, pretty much back in the side right now, but there's still very little signs that there's any form.
Lions coaching staff announced?
Yeah, Warren Gatland says he knew a long time ago, Joe, that Andy Farrell wouldn't be available to be part of his coaching team for this summer. Farrell has opted instead to focus on his position as the Ireland head coach instead of making the trip with the touring parties to South Africa. Gatland added this afternoon he understood that Munster coach Graham Rowntree didn't want to travel due to family reasons. Scotland's Gregor Townsend and Steve Tandy, Leinster's Robin McBride and Wales' Neil Jenkins will make up the backroom team. They say they've already looked at 75 players for the tour. McBride previously worked with Gatland with Wales, and the Lions coach has been explaining his inclusion.
I've been working with Robin McBride for a number of years, and the job that he had done with Wales, and obviously he's doing an outstanding job now. He's moved to Dublin with Leinster, and we saw the performance last weekend, and so his role has expanded with Leinster from initially just being with the scrums and now with the lineouts and the forwards as well. So for me it was easy to look at Robin to come on board, because knowing how someone who knows how I work and the way how I like to operate things, it was pretty seamless.
So Leinster against La Rochelle, we have our date and time.
We do. Sunday, the 2nd of May, it's going to be at 3 p.m. Irish time in France. The All-French Last Four clash of Toulouse and Bordeaux will be on the previous day. Ulster trip to Leicester in the Challenge Cup semi-finals. That's going to have an 8 p.m. kickoff at Welford Road on the evening of Friday, April the 30th. We also got the details of the first round of fixtures in the Rainbow Cup. It includes a repeat of the Pro 14 final at the RDS between Leinster and Munster. Ulster will welcome Connacht to Belfast on the evening of Friday the 23rd, with the first game of the tournament pitting the Stormers against the Sharks in South Africa. So no cross-continental travel for the first weekend at least, and it'll be intriguing to see how the rest of the fixtures play out.
And do we know beyond that?
No, not yet. So we're still awaiting full details for further down, but the organisers did insist today that the tournament will be going ahead.
Okay. I watched England against Italy at the 2014 World Cup in a... What was that?
Nathan's son looking for a shirt, was it?
The masses are descending already. Uh-oh, I better go save him.
Pitchforks outside the Murphy residence as we speak. I watched England-Italy at the 2014 World Cup in a Ringsend pub. Most people were cheering for England. Buy him the shirt. Most of us have moved on, says Dave.
I think a lot of people, even at the 2018 World Cup, enjoyed watching this England team, and this current England crop are a very likeable side, and Gareth Southgate is pretty inoffensive. I think all of us, by the time it came to the 2-3 days build up around the semi-final against Croatia, were like, actually, on second thoughts, I think we could do with them beaten about now.
My 17-year-old wanted a Dublin jersey. That's worse. See, there is that's your bigger dilemma, my man. That is your bigger dilemma.
That's gone. That's already gone.
Is that gone?
I arrived home one day and there he was in the Dublin jersey. So this kid has form.
Yeah.
Pissing me off is his number one. It's his number one daily plan. So
treacherous little fella.
Yeah, just can't be trusted. That is worse. That's more heartbreaking because there's an emotional connection there.
There is. Yeah.
This he just wants somebody to support during the summer and recognise all the players.
There must be heartbroken parents all over Dublin who had to move up for work and watch their beloved.
Oh, for sure, half the Dublin team.
Yeah. 100% get him the jersey. He may follow England. Everyone knows he supports Ireland. Chris, who says Dublin and Kerry. Then somebody says if he supports United, tell him you'll buy him the England jersey on one condition: he has to get a Liverpool one too. That's just...
Oh, this is the problem. Every year, last season he supported Wolves. This season he supports Leicester.
Oh yeah. He says this will get him some perspective. If not, you can watch Michael Collins for free on YouTube. Maybe sit him down, warm glass of milk before bed. He says, in the name of the Father, it may be too soon. I'm afraid it's a no on the England top. We haven't moved on. Just look at how Owen Morgan's cricketing career was greeted here. Was there not a degree of good on you, Owen, here?
I think most people would. That's a totally different scenario where he couldn't, at the time, achieve what he wanted with Ireland.
Look, we all understand Nathan's son can't be seen in an Ireland jersey right now. It's not a good time. He needs to move on to top-level football. Somebody says, buy the jersey. It wasn't all oppression, as people make out, says Michael. Wow. Oh, dear. 99% against. That is the verdict.
Okay.
So it's up to you. I feel like people
back in
against it would be more inclined to text in no, that way. The lukewarms out there aren't going to be like, yeah, whatever.
Okay.
No one's going to text in whatever you want. Who cares?
You're reassuring me now, Joe.
Last story then, Will, wherever you want to take us.
Yeah, well, we still have to wait and see what's going to happen, lads, with this weekend's game of the Women's Six Nations in association with Guinness. Lauren Delaney said earlier today it would be a relief if the game goes ahead. The Minister for Sport, Jack Chambers, confirmed talks are ongoing in a bid to allow France to travel to Dublin without quarantine. And just for GAA fans who may have bought that Dublin jersey, confirmation the draws for this summer's hurling and football championships will be next week. Munster football and hurling on Monday morning, with the Connacht football draw in the evening. The reigning All-Ireland champions Dublin will learn their opponents for Leinster football on Tuesday morning. The Leinster hurling draw also taking place at that time. Straight knockout competitions in football this year, and the Ulster football draw will be on Tuesday evening, lads.
Okay, very good. Somebody says, Nathan, you get the jersey too. Hand in hand, walk down the street. It'll be a thing of beauty.
Dad, we'll announce the time and the day. Down O'Connell Street.
Oh dear. Okay. Anything you want to say, by the way? So I think Paul McGinley's going to be on Golf Weekly tomorrow. We recorded a bumper pod yesterday. Any big takeaways you want to share with the nation before you go?
No, I think you summed it up last night. It wasn't a particularly memorable Masters. Hideki Matsuyama is not a surprising winner in lots of ways. Course form, former world number 2. Nothing dislikable in any way about Hideki Matsuyama, but every part of my being wanted him to collapse on that back nine. just for my entertainment.
Well, I couldn't have put it better myself. Lawrence Donegan's going to join us later on. Will O'Callaghan, thank you.
Cheers, lads.
Nathan, cheers.
God, never mind.
We have the great Philippe Auclair next, PSG Bayern.
Off the ball.
We're going now to the Azteca Stadium, and we can now join Barry Davis.